On this adventure of Camera Crusades, we're checking out this amazing temple in Gilbert, Arizona. Stay tuned. So today we're at the Mormon temple here in Gilbert. A couple of birds there. So today we're at the Mormon temple here in Gilbert, Arizona, and I just want to do some final testing here on this ultimate photography tool that I'm going to be rolling out in the next week or so. It's a great little step-by-step instructional tool to help you take your photos to the next level from, kind of just average to something extraordinary. So let's use this tool today. I'm going to do some final testing, like I said, and let's get some shots of this beautiful temple here in Gilbert. So our first step is choose our focal length. So for today I have the 24 to 105 lens on, and I want to start by capturing this wide scene, but I also want to kind of zoom in to see what best suits this particular image, because there's a lot of great elements in this foreground that I might want to include with that wider length. But maybe I want to go a little bit more zoomed in with the telephoto to really just isolate the building itself. So let's take a couple of shots. So for step number 2, you want to identify your focus point. Now I've moved up a little bit, and I'm going to continue to do that throughout this video as we get closer and closer to the church going through these steps. But now I've kind of presented myself in front of these beautiful yellow flowers that kind of have this nice pattern leading up to the temple itself. And what I want to do is I want to show you kind of what I mean in terms of what is your focus point, because I'm going to focus on the temple because that's our main subject. But I'm also going to do a closer focus so that these flowers really stand out in the foreground, just to kind of show you that position change of focus. This building is truly impressive. It's amazing how meticulous the grounds have been kept and how beautiful and ornate this building is. What a great experience. So our next step is choose your f-stop or aperture. So what I'm going to do is I have these beautiful bushes framed up in front of me, and I'm going to show you kind of the difference between an f4, a very wide open aperture, and an f16, which is a much more closed down aperture, to show you how to incorporate close-up elements and far-away elements so that they're all in focus, or you maybe have some of that blur in the background that you're actually looking for. So let me show you both those images now. Definitely a shout out to the groundskeepers here. This place is dialed in. I mean, it is just everywhere you look, it's super photogenic, very, very beautiful, very, very calming, a lot of birds. The only real drawback is there is main roads kind of surrounding this place for traffic, but honestly, you're so taken back by the beauty and the, just the nature of this place that barely even hear them. So for step number 4, choose your shutter speed. Now I'm actually facing this opposite direction just to give a little bit more emphasis because it is a little breezy today and these palm trees are really flapping around in the wind. So choosing your shutter speed again helps you create a little artistic creativity with your images by either enhancing that motion by having a slower shutter speed and getting that blurring effect, or a higher shutter speed to freeze that action. So I'm going to show you 2 of those images now, one with the blurred effect and one with the kind of crisp frozen action. So for our last 2 steps, we want to select our ISO, and to do that today we basically have such bright conditions with the clouds rolling in and out that we can basically leave our ISO at its native setting, which on this particular camera is 100. If we needed to freeze the action or do something that was kind of in lower light, we could bump that ISO to help us get those frozen shots, but today it's not necessarily needed. So we move on to our last step, which is ultimately just to take the shot and review the image, because after you take the shot, reviewing the image is so crucial that you've captured what you intended to capture with that image. And if you didn't, we're just going to go right back through the steps 1 through 6 and start all over again until you get the image you are trying to create. What a perfect location for testing the ultimate photography tool. The grounds here, the architecture of this temple are, I mean, they're just incredible. Like, you have to see it in person. The intricacies of this building, video doesn't do it justice. There are just so many little details in the mason work. It's fantastic. So be on the lookout. That ultimate photography tool will be out in the next week or 2, and it's got some amazing, easy to use, step-by-step instructions that will really take your photography to the next level. So for now, give this video a thumbs up, and we'll see you on that next adventure.